Good afternoon, Mr. Hamon. I am Rizal and Magallanes from Group 1, 3.2 BSB FM, and I will discuss 5 problems about shareholders' equity. So let's start. Problem number 1. Jamin Company has a dividend rate of 6% and the par is $100 per share. How much is the dividend per share? To get the dividend per share, simply multiply the par to the dividend rate. In this problem, we will multiply $100 per share to 6% or 0.06, which is the decimal form of 6%. And we will get the answer of 6% dividends per share. Problem number 2. At the beginning of the current year, Mark Lee Company issued 35,000 ordinary shares for 20 pesos par value and 40,000 convertible preference shares of 20 pesos par value for a total of 1,500,000 pesos. At this date, the ordinary share was selling for 45 pesos and the convertible preference share was selling for 37 pesos. What amount of the proceeds should be allocated to the preference shares? To get to get the preference shares, multiply the number of preference shares and multiply the number of preference shares to its selling price per share. In this problem, we have 40,000 convertible preference shares and 37 pesos as its selling price. We will multiply the two given data to get the preference shares. 40,000 convertible preference shares times 37 pesos selling price, and the answer would be 1,480,000 preference shares. Problem number 3. From the previous problem given, what amount of the proceeds should be allocated to ordinary shares? From the previous problem, we have 35,000 ordinary shares and 45 pesos as its selling price. Just like the formula to get the preference shares, we will just simply multiply the given data to get the ordinary shares. Ordinary shares equals number of ordinary shares times selling price per share. 35,000 ordinary shares times 45 pesos selling price, and the answer would be 1,575,000 ordinary shares. Problem number 4. Huang Longjun Corporation has a total assets of 450,000 pesos and a total liabilities of 350,000 pesos. How much is the shareholders' equity of Huang Longjun Corporation? To get the shareholders' equity, subtract the total assets from the total liabilities. In this problem, we have 450,000 pesos total assets minus 350,000 pesos total liabilities. The answer is 100,000 pesos total shareholders' equity. The last problem, Dongyuk Company has $7,000 of retained earnings from the beginning of their accounting period. The company then brings in $5,000 net income and makes a total payment of $2,000 in dividends. How much is the retained earnings? To get the retained earnings, just add the beginning beginning period retained earnings plus net income or loss and subtract it, and the answer from the two, subtract it from the dividends. $7,000 beginning retained earnings plus $5,000 net income minus $2,000 dividends, the retained earnings would be $10,000. That's all. Thank you for listening.